Hello again. Another amateur video where I found something out. I looked at a few videos online regarding aligning a model that's unaligned to its origin space. Like this is an important model from an STL file, and as you can see, when I rotate here, it's going to have you see the orientation of the origin is totally wrong, and it's even off center here on the middle. So I'm just going to show you how I found out that you can sort of reorient everything. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reorient everything so that the center point here is aligned to the point here on the edge on the top right corner. So the first thing you do is you make sure you stand in solid, and then you can use the align command. So you select an object like this, and you will have to reselect it afterwards maybe, and then you click align and you get this small window here. And then you have from and to, so those are the points you need to work with. And you have bodies or you have components, and this time I'm going to try with components. And afterwards you select capture position, because then it saves the position, as far as I know, then to the orientation or the origin point afterwards. So you start by selecting, you see I already pre-selected this wall, which is like the, you can see here, it's the orientation of this side, but you can see it's off skew, so our point here is to try and make it parallel to this. And then you manually go and it's a little bit slow sometimes, because this is a module but over for 32,000 objects, so it's kind of big. I haven't managed to merge everything because it's so big. So the first point was selected, that's that wall, and then you need to find a different connection point. So in this case, notice you get like a flat square here. It will indicate the orientation that you get your model in. See, now it will be flat, now it will be side, and what you can do is you can orient it to a surface as well. So I'm going to click this one, and see, now I selected to orient it, and you see it sort of adjusts itself in accordance to that wall, because I clicked on the surface of this side. And then I select capture position, so that this will sort of capture the position to that, and click OK. So that part is done. Now the second part I want to do is I want to orient this one to be on level with the bottom. Again, I do the same. You click and mark the bottom, modify, and align, and you see that one is the first selection. Then you click select to select the next one, and then you can either find the point where you can see that bracket, or you can just select the surface you want to align towards. You see, now I selected that, and if you notice here, it perfectly aligned itself using that as a basis. And again, I select capture position, and then you have the last one, which is this one. I click this one, and then I go to modify again and align, and you see it has pre-aligned that one, and then I click the second one. Again, it can sometimes take a while if you have a lot of models. And then I find this edge here, and you see you get this weird kind of line here if it has a correct selection. Don't click if it has that thing there. Make sure you see it sort of changes color. That means you sort of have hovered over it. And then I click it, and if you zoom out, you will see that the origin point is perfectly centered around the one edge there. And then click capture and OK. Now I have actually oriented the point, so I can perfectly rotate and move the object in relation to other objects. And now I just save my project, OK. In some cases, I do recommend unlinking your project first, otherwise it may refer back to the original object you had going on. Because if you break the link, it will only be valid for this project that you're inside. See, now it's part of this project. All the origin points are aligned. So if I want to associate this inside a different body, it's so much easier than before, because both of these objects will now have the same orientation. So if I select this one now and I want to move it, it's so much easier because the orientation I now have will be in relation to whatever everything else is. So here, before I couldn't do this because this was like tilted and on the side and everything, because I put the orientation to be the same as this. I can also just move it up. In this case, I want it to actually go here. And how do you set a new reference point when you zoom in? You click on the move, copy, pivot sign, and then you can move this. In this case, I want to just be as close to this as possible. So you click there, you capture the position, and then you click the V sign again. So now you have moved the orientation point again. And to be honest, somehow I find this model to be incorrect in size, because I did model this after the correct size and measurements, so I will need to recheck that, but yeah. But yeah, so now you can see that you can reorient everything so it's supposed to fit. Right side. Before I couldn't do this because the whole motherboard was sort of tilted. So the front. So basically now I can sort of adjust everything without having to worry about all the other things. And then I can just select OK. I could have captured a position. It's not perfectly oriented, as you can see. But it gives you an idea of how changing the orientation of the origin versus what you're actually working with can help in reorienting the model. So that is just a small brief instruction video from me, and again, I'm just a total noob when it comes to Fusion 360. This is just something I figured out by accident on my own. Thank you very much.